Something happened today where it taught me a lesson, I think, or I hope I learned from it, but there was two people going by on motorbikes and they were asking where the petrol station was and asked if they were running on fumes, and they said one of them was, and I said, well, I've got some petrol in a jerry can that I'll give you enough to get to the petrol station so you don't run out on the way to there. And I said it's like 3 miles to the petrol station, so take enough to get yourself to there. And then the guy took the jerry can. Like, he only needed like about a litre maximum to easily get to the petrol station and more, which would have cost me like a couple of pounds, I suppose. But he started to pour the petrol into the motorbike, and he got to halfway up his tank, which was, I think it was about 10 litres he put into it, and that's enough to get like a long distance, like a long way. And I don't like to tell people to not do things, but I eventually said to him, hey, that's enough, and then he gave me back the jerry can, but he would have filled up the whole tank if I'd not said anything. And he offered me £20, and I don't like to take money off people. I find it a difficult thing to do, and at first I turned it down, and then I thought, well, he's taken a lot of petrol, so it'll kind of go towards paying for that, because I think in a way he'd taken more than £20 worth with the prices we pay where we are. It's a remote place, and I said to him, well, you take what you feel £20 worth is, and I'll take the money because I don't normally like to take money, but it'd be handy this week because then I can buy food, because I'm totally broke this week. My cash flow is really bad, and he then put more petrol into the tank he'd already had £20 worth, and he took the jerry can, and I thought maybe he'll take a little bit more, but he started to fill up his own tank as well, which wasn't even running low. And I'm not joking, he nearly used, relatively speaking, pretty much the whole jerry can, 20 litres. Well, he maybe used about 17 litres of fuel. Like, on this, where I am, like, that would be £34 sterling cash money to buy 17 litres of fuel, £34. And then he gave me £20 for it, and they were nice enough people, so I kind of, at the time, I felt like I was helping them out because they were in a tough spot. But really, when I looked back on it, I thought, wait a minute, that guy didn't even need petrol in his bike. He'd already had £20 worth, more than £20 worth of petrol off me, and then he started to take more petrol off me to make sure he was okay. And I don't mind people making sure they're okay if they're really struggling, but his tank already had a lot of petrol in it on the second bike, the one that wasn't running on empty. And basically, the thing I'm realising is he was making sure he was okay. He was making sure he got more than his money's worth. He nearly got double the amount of petrol for the money than what he would have if he'd paid £20 at a petrol station. He got double the amount of petrol off me for that money. And basically I ended up making a massive loss on it, really, relatively speaking. I lost half the value of that petrol in giving him that. And I was thinking, like, first of all, it's no wonder I'm broke all the time, because whenever I do business stuff, I tend to, like, I'll do a job and I'll charge cost prices to them. So I'll charge people what the materials are, and I don't give myself any profit, and I still feel bad about taking money off people. But this, the petrol incident, I'm going to call it, and I'm going to try and remember it in future, it made me realise I really need to start making sure that I don't do myself out of money when I'm trying to help other people, because unless it's family, then people I really, really, really want to make sure are okay, because that guy was making sure he was okay at my expense, and he's making his life better at his, at my expense. And they were nice enough and everything, and he didn't mean any. I don't think he meant any. I wonder if he knew he was taking more than he was entitled to for the money, really. But anyway, it's making me realise I've made some ceramics and nice pieces that I was wondering how much to charge for them if I start to sell them. And someone was saying they didn't have much money when they were looking at them, and asked them what they thought a fair price was for the pieces, and they said, "Oh, I don't have much money, so I wouldn't be able to pay much at all." And then I was thinking, I need to charge less for my ceramics. But really, I was thinking like, I should maybe just only charge £20 or £30 a piece for them. But they take hours for me to make, and I think this petrol incident today is making me realise it's maybe a lesson from the universe, because maybe someone was saying to me the other day, like, the things we find difficult are actually lessons we need to learn, and the universe is helping us see the lesson we need to learn when something tough happens, and that's the lesson we need to learn. And I think the lesson I need to learn is, now I'm feeling I've been swindled. No offence to the people, but he knows he took a lot more petrol than £20 worth off me. He would have emptied the whole jerry can, 20 litres, if I'd not said to him that's enough, And people it's a pattern in my life where people keep on making sure they're okay at my expense. The amount of times I've been in business with people and they've made sure they got money out of the business, and then when it was time for me to get my money, they'd taken it, or they borrowed money off me. And so-called friends that borrowed money off me when I sold a house I'd worked so hard to buy that house. And then when I sold it, so-called friends borrowed money off me, and then I never saw them again. They were really good friends too, and they avoided me so they didn't have to pay the money back. And they still owe me that money to this day. And the cheek of it as well, if I saw them, they would say, debts die after so many years, so they don't owe me it anymore, but morally they owe me the money. But the point I'm thinking is, this lesson with the petrol incident is, I think it's really important that we make sure we're okay when we do deals with people and when we help people and all that, because sometimes we can go through life trying to help others so much, people who don't care about us, people who don't try and make sure we're okay. And we go through life trying to help them, because they need a favour, they need some help, they need a favour, like they have an emergency that they need help with, they've got a bill that they have to pay, that they need to borrow money to pay, they need to borrow money off us to pay it, or they need us to help give them a lift to somewhere at our expense with our car, or they need us to do a job for them, but they don't want to pay a good amount to us for the job we do. And I think, really, we can end up going through life where we give and we give and we give and we give, and we give our energy, we give our money, we give our time, we give our attention, we give our focus to people who are using us to make sure they're okay, So please, in future, I'm going to try and look on it, and I think it'd be useful for all of us who have similar experiences to look on it as, it's really good and really important that we start to make sure we're okay, and we start to keep our resources for when we need them, because that petrol I had stored there, one day I might need it for the car, one day I might need it, and I'll be finding I've not got any petrol, because I can't even get to the petrol station because I can't afford to buy new suspension for the car, because the suspension fell off the car the other day. And, on the bright side though, I've got 20 quid in my pocket and I needed the cash this week, and it's also the positive thing I can look on it as, it's a lesson to me, to remind me, because I was wondering how much to charge for my ceramics, and I was going to charge low prices because the people that looked at them were saying, oh, you know, they think that ceramics should only be like they weren't even wanting to pay 20 or 30 pounds for them. And I was starting to think, oh, I need to reduce my prices on things if I sell them. But really, I need to start thinking, hey, wait a minute, this is actually a really, really beautiful piece of art. This is a little sculpture that it's the only one of its kind in the whole world, and it's really incredibly beautiful. And if they don't want to pay lots of money for it, then that's fine. They don't have to, but like, I need to find people who appreciate what I do in life, and it goes in all aspects of my life. I need to find people who appreciate the fact I'm good-hearted, and people who appreciate the fact I try and help people, and people who don't just use me for that. I need to find people who actually like really appreciate me and give. It rarely happens. People who give energy and attention and focus back to me, and people who, if they do get things off me, they buy things off me, they pay a fair price. And man, I've spent my whole life trying to help people out and getting no thanks for it, and getting used and abused basically. And I know this sounds really negative and depressing, but it's making me realize it's so important in relationships and in deals we do in business, in life generally, that if people are not giving to us on an equal way, then it's better to, I know it sounds harsh, but it's better not to help them, It's better to make sure we're okay, and like, obviously help people out if you want to, but with our things we've built up, the things we put work into, like if we put hours and hours of work into something, don't just give that thing away to someone who doesn't even appreciate you for it, Yeah, because they'll be able to enjoy the benefits of our labour. They'll get the rewards for the work we put in if we keep on giving them work. If we do work for them and we don't get the money for it, or if we do work for them and we don't charge a good rate for it, it's maybe nice in some ways that we're considerate to them, but we end up at the end of the month not able to buy food or to pay our bills because we've given away something to someone that really they know they should have paid more for, Yeah. So the petrol incident, I'm going to refer to it as that in the future, but the petrol incident, it's a good lesson really, and I should look on it as I might have lost £15 or whatever in petrol money by selling that amount of petrol for £20, when I was actually wanting to just give them free of charge. I just wanted to give them enough petrol to get to the petrol station, which would have been a splash of petrol in the bottom of the fuel tank. We'd have got into the petrol station, because the petrol station's only about 3 miles down the road. And like, if he'd just put a splash of petrol in the bottom of the fuel tank, enough to get him to petrol station, then I would have given it him for nothing. But he's the one that offered me money, and then I said, oh well, make sure you get 20 quid's worth then. But really, I was being too polite. He'd already had 20 quid's worth. So in future reference, note to self, don't keep on giving stuff to people who don't even appreciate us for it, and make sure we're okay. And I'm not meaning it in a selfish way, but I've got to make sure my family's okay. Like, I've not even got my own children that I can prove are mine. That like, that's a whole other story for a whole other thing. But I'm pretty sure I've got a son in the world, but it's a really complicated story. I got totally fooled by someone that didn't even let me know that he existed, or that they didn't let me know that he was my son, but and it's only later I realised he might be, but bless him. But I hope you're having a happy life if you are my son out there. Yeah. It's getting dark now, but there's light, because, we hopefully we can find out, well, I'll see if this looks better. That's better, I can see something now. Yeah, like, hopefully we can use the tough things that happen as lessons to learn for how to make things better in the future. And I think it's really important we start to make sure we're okay. We start to make sure we get appreciated, and it's not a selfish thing. It is selfish in that it's about ourselves, but like other people are making sure they're okay. And if there is a God and God does care about us, surely they would want us to make sure we're okay and that we're appreciated for the efforts we put in for things. And if they don't care that we're happy, then why would we serve a God that doesn't care that we're happy? So yeah, like it's not wrong to try and make sure we're okay in life, because I want to have my own family one day, and I'll never be able to like afford to have my own family if I keep on giving away my resources to people who don't even come and visit me, don't even come and socialize with me. They don't even give a shit that I exist, and then I'm trying to help them. Like, I've got to stop doing that. I've got to start. Like, I'll still help people if they're really struggling because I care about people, but I've got to start making sure that I start to protect my resources and build them up so that I'll be able to help people better in bigger ways then if I build things up. But I really want to have my own family one day and my own children, and it'd be rubbish if my wife said to me, "Oh, where's the money for like we need to pay a bill?" And I'm like, because I would like my wife to like be able to spend lots of time at home looking after the home life and all that, and I know some people will get angry about that, but tough shit, I'm not forcing you to come and live with me, like, but for me, I think it's really important for children to have a stable family life where, like, there's at least one of the parents home, and I would happily be a house husband and look after the children and do all the housework and all that. I'd love to do that, but there's not many women want a guy that would be happy to just bring up the kids and, she goes out earning. But I'd be happy enough doing that, if someone actually genuinely loved me and was really good-hearted and genuinely cared about me and our children, Then that's a whole other thing for another video. But yeah, I'm not going to manage to even be able to pay for a date, like, or for my 50% of a date if she wants to get do things that way. Like, I wouldn't be able to pay for my 50% of a date, like, expenses, if I keep on giving away my resources in things like the petrol incident. But yeah, let's make sure we're okay. Try it as an experiment, make sure we're okay, because everyone else is doing that and they're all getting ahead. And like, he had 2 brand new motorbikes, pretty much brand new motorbikes actually, when I think about it, and the fucker took £40 worth of petrol basically for like £20, and he was going to take loads more. He was going to empty the whole jerry can, but I actually had to say to him, that's enough. Like, but fucker, excuse my language, but I'm realising how much money he's got. The jacket he had on is one that's they're not cheap. They're like, I can't remember the name of the brand, but I know for a fact the badge on it, like, don't want to give them the advertising either, but they're like £700 or £800. Some of the jackets they do £400 for the cheap ones. So the guy's not broke, and then he's fucking making. That's how he's rich. He's making sure he's all right at other people's expense. But let's stop helping rich bastards that are making sure they're okay at our expense, and let's, they get us to do work for them. We do jobs for them. Like, I used to do web pages for people, and then once I'd done the consultation with them and I'd agreed a consultation rate and all that, they'd start to renege on paying me when I wanted paid, and they'd be like, "Oh, yeah, I don't think I should have to pay you for that." And I told them the advice was so many pounds an hour, and then I'd give them the advice, and they would use the advice. But then once they had what they wanted, they don't want to pay for it. It's like in drug dealing, you give people the product, and if you don't get paid up front, like, you can be chasing them for fucking ages trying to get the money. So anyway, that's a whole other thing for a whole completely other video. But yeah, let's make sure we start making life good for ourselves, and it's good to be good-hearted to others, but I'm realising I'm doing myself, and this petrol incident today is making me realise I need to start making sure I'm okay. And also, it's a really good lesson with the ceramics prices. I was going to bring down the prices I want to get just to try and make it easy for people to buy them, but really it's not fair on me to do that, because that means they're getting like something that I've put a lot of work into building up the skills to do, and a lot of effort into making. And like some of those pieces, some people just don't get how much care goes into each little detail of a piece. And like there's specialist work, like, and people are wanting to get them for the same price as you'd pay for a few factory produced plates in a supermarket. Excuse my language, but fuck that. Let's start making sure we get paid what we deserve for the things we do, and let's stop helping other people by selling ourselves short to them and giving them our time and our effort and our money and our assets and our resources, and we give and we give and we give to people, and they just don't even fucking come and visit. Fucking bastards, man. Excuse me, I'm going off on a rant now, but it's a lovely evening, and I'm sure some people can relate out there, but it's funny because like there's a lot of rage in me. There really is. Like, the amount of people that have ripped me off and literally stolen my resources, stolen my money by betraying my trust and all that. And I hope karma is real, because I try and help people a lot, but it's like I still get ripped off. But I think the lesson I need to learn, the universe is trying to tell me, don't keep helping people when they clearly... That guy had money. His motorbikes were brand new. Like the one he had for him and the one his daughter was on. One day they'll probably watch this video and we'll be good friends, and it'll ruin the friendship, but... man, c'est la vie. That's life. I'm trying. Some people say I'm very trying. I'll get my coat. Happy days to you. I hope you have a good time, and I hope really good things happen for you. And I hope my long rant that I only meant to be about 2 minutes long, I hope it's useful for you to just keep on reminding you, please, please, please make sure you're okay when you give people resources, or you give people your time, or you give your effort. And because we need to build our lives up, because God or the universe, however you want to look at it, I'm sure they created us because they need us to be us doing the things we do. And if we keep on getting diverted by other people suddenly turning up and demanding... It's like a vampire thing, really, when I think about it. Like some demonic vampire thing where just when we've built up a resource, it swoops in and says, can I have that? Sometimes it says, I'll pay you back later. Honest, gov. And, they build up the trust with their charm. Like, oh, is it okay if I have a bit of, I'm running low on petrol, oh, poor me. Like, as well... Really, I should have said, well, fucking pay more attention next time and look at your fuel gauge before you run out. I learned that when I was a fucking teenager, Fuck's sake, the guy was like in his 50s or something. When I think about it, it's absolute piss take. He was driving a really brand new motorbike. His daughter had a brand new motorbike. He was wearing clothes that were thousands of pounds in value, the total of what he was wearing, even though he looked like trying to look bikerish, and that is still a heck of a lot of money that he spent on his clothes even. And he quickly pulls a 20 quid note out of his pocket like it was nothing, and it's like, that man had money, and fucker, no wonder he took like double the amount of petrol for what he paid for. But yeah, let's make sure we're okay. I'm going to stop ranting now. You will be pleased to hear. Please subscribe to show your appreciation for how long I can rant about something. And press like as well, just to piss off YouTube, because YouTube never seems to recommend my videos to people. So if you could piss off YouTube by commenting and subscribing, and if you live in the UK, please be careful about what you comment, because the thought police may come and arrest you for expressing an opinion on anything at all at any point. So the glorious regime of tyrannical, Bolshevik, Marxist, fucking Leninist, I don't know if they're Trotskyite, but some of them are actually. Jeremy Corbyn, I think, is. But yeah, those fuckers will come and arrest us for having an opinion, apparently. So I'm thinking I might have to come to Texas and claim asylum, so I would really appreciate that. But you won't want me because I'm broke, because I just gave the last of my petrol to someone for 20 quid, so I'm actually down in money even though I got cash flow. But maybe I'm destined for great things though, because the most successful businessmen are constantly broke, but just make sure their cash flow is good. So maybe I'm learning and winning, really. I got 20 quid. I sold £40 worth of assets for 20 quid, but at least I've got 20 quid in my pocket. There's always a silver lining to every bad event, apparently. But yeah, hopefully loads of good things will happen from this. And yeah, hopefully, yeah, I really hope they do. And happy days to you. And if you've made it this far, well done. I think you deserve a nice cup of tea or something now and a relax after listening to me rant for this long. But I hugely appreciate you appreciating my rants. Lots of love to you. See you later. Happy days. I hope something really good happens to you. And don't let those bastards use you. Don't give them your time or your money or your resources unless they actually genuinely appreciate you, or if you are genuinely moved to help someone that's in need, because that's a nice thing to do. And I do want to help people that are genuinely in need, but I realised those people are driving brand new motorbikes, really expensive clothes. He took a vast amount of petrol when I literally said, take enough to get you to a petrol station that is 3 miles up the road. And he half filled the tank. I could literally see it through the plastic tank. He half filled the tank to get 3 miles. What an absolute fucker. Yeah, I need to be more wise to those devious vampires games. Yeah. Oh, that's nice. The light came out when I'm saying I need to get wise to the games. Hopefully that's a good sign. There is light in the darkness, literally. Look for the light, but if you're not ready to leave Earth, don't go to the light too soon. But yeah, may the light always shine on your path unless you need it to be dark so you can avoid trouble. See you later.